Bitcoin pre-market here is trading, or I should say at least pre-market stock-wise. Obviously, there's no pre-market for Bitcoin, trading at 91,600. Now, the kicker here, again, if we zoom out,
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now, guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, let's discuss these topics and more.
we still see we have these levels, right? We still have this level right here coming through here, and then the two highs from 2021, and that's creating this kind of pseudo-resistance zone right up here, which is not broken. Now, if we go to the big board and we look at this, there is a couple things that we have to be aware of, right? And I talked about this last week. I said, listen, we're into resistance, but if we chop sideways a lot, you start to build a bullish consolidation pattern. So again, here's your flagpole, right? And here's your sideways chop. Now, again, it doesn't mean that it's going to break out, but if you're thinking about probabilities, the probabilities are inching up a little bit. So when we first came into it, let's talk about probabilities. When we first rallied into this line here, the idea is that you should get some sort of pullback. In fact, it favored a pullback with an 80% chance of that, right? Which means only a 20% chance it was going to continue. Now, as each candle goes sideways, the probabilities here start to drop. So now you're probably at a 60% chance that it pulls back versus 40% chance that it goes up. Now, every day after, it's going to increase the odds of going higher by 5%. So in 2 days, by Thursday, if we're still sideways here, it would have then at that point be 50-50 probability. And this is what a technical trader does. You know, so many people out there, they think it's very black and white. Investing, it's either like, oh, you're bullish or you're bearish. You know, you either think it's going up forever or you think it's going down, right? In reality, a good technician is always evaluating the new candles on the charts. So every time we get one of these green or reds or even the dojis, which are basically just the pauses with, the tails and the wicks, it's giving us more information. It's either forming a pattern, breaking a pattern, making a move into a technical support or resistance, and it's telling us information each and every day. And so you have to, as a trader, be willing to understand that you might have been bearish here, but now you shouldn't be quite as bearish. Doesn't mean you're bullish yet, but you might not be as bearish. And if it goes a little more sideways, then you got to be, all right, now it's neutral. Now it's 50-50. And if it continues, then it starts favoring the upside. And we know MicroStrategies yesterday bought another $4.6 billion. They didn't buy it yesterday, to be clear. I think it was like a week and a half ago. But again, $4.6 billion. And I think they're trying to buy a ton more, which, by the way, makes me wonder a little bit about how much they're supporting the price. And once they get that amount, does that then is there an air pocket below that could cause Bitcoin to pull back at that point? We don't know that, but obviously just keep an eye on it. The point being is right now we're trading at 91,700. Let's see where we go. But again, you are getting the preliminary formations that could be bullish on the charts.
Key BTC metrics indicate a potential 90% price surge, supported by historical patterns and strong macroeconomic conditions. Tool multiple breakouts have led to an average BTC gain of 90%. Tool tracks mining profitability, crossing its SMA signals bull runs. BTC's RSI, 74.4, stays above 70 during extended bull markets. Analysts expect intense growth lasting till 300 days before a new peak. Bitcoin's momentum could drive prices toward historic highs, but caution is advised as retail-driven FOMO may trigger corrections.
Let's go to gold. Now, gold and Bitcoin, to some extent, both are up today, right? And the kicker here is that gold is up because of the geopolitical concerns. And so we know that, obviously, the tensions with Russia and the U.S. over Ukraine, they are spiking a little bit, and that's pushing money into gold. What's amazing about this, folks, if we go back to the big board here, is that you basically knew that ahead of time. Now, again, we didn't know the news, and I want to be clear about this. This is one of the most fascinating things about technicals is that you don't know the news that's going to trigger it. That's the after the fact. But what we did know is very clearly we were into technical support here, and it was telling us gold should bounce. lo and behold, gold bounced sizably yesterday. The dollar pulled back. Today, the dollar's up a little bit, but gold's going up anyways because of the increased tensions. And I think there's a little of that in Bitcoin today as well that's pushing Bitcoin to the upside because of those tensions likewise. All right, so where are we going on Bitcoin, on gold? So the first level to watch is this little low right here. That's around 26.55. But then in reality, and I think I talked about this yesterday, we can see the midpoint, the dotted line. I hope you guys can see the dotted line here. Dotted line is really your level, and that's around 26.90 to 26.80. So basically 26.55 to 26.90, that's going to be your big test for gold. Can it get through and start making a run to the all-time highs, or is it going to get rejected and have to come back and fight support again? All right, so again, little things like that we want to pay attention to. But either way, guys, fascinating move on gold. And again, if you followed me, if you're part of my commodity service, Smart Money Commodities and Miners, I have us long Newmont Mining. We have the GDX long, and those are all in the money very nicely over the last couple days. Oil today, almost no movement here, guys. Again, I almost am getting bored of talking about oil, so we'll keep it quick. The only thing I just want to remind you, remember the $65 level. Look at all of these lows for years going back, all along 65-ish. If that ever breaks, again, just be a heads up that would be a huge breakdown. Silver today, same kind of deal here. Silver is upticking a little bit, although it's already off its pre-market highs. It was a little short-term oversold. Never quite hit my technical support down here, but getting a bounce. I would still favor a move down to 29 to 28, and that would be where I nibble just a little bit. And let's look at natural gas here. And again, I know a lot of you guys love your natural gas here. For me, I'm a little more indifferent. Doesn't matter too much. It's above this trend line. And remember, if it continues up, then I look to short up here. If it doesn't, no big deal. There's always another trade around the corner. All right. So remember, a good trader, a good investor, is always using the information in the charts to make decisions versus letting emotion take hold. So many people would wake up this morning and see the news about Russia and what Putin's doing and start to freak out or think, oh my goodness, I have to do this. You don't want to let the emotion get the better of you. You want to look at the charts. The charts will guide you much better than social media, mainstream media. That's just the way it is. And again, just look at anyone who follows the charts and trades purely technical without emotion, and their gains will always be superior.
Dogecoin's price surged 5% today to $0.39, driven by high-profile endorsements, whale accumulation, and bullish technical patterns. Doge up 209% in November, approaching its 2021 highs. Addresses holding 10 100 Doge increased sharply since November 4. Break above $0.40 could target $0.87, all-time high. Overbought RSI 77 warns of short-term corrections to $0.35 or $0.30. Dogecoin's rally hinges on maintaining momentum while navigating potential market corrections. Despite XRP's strong November rally, its price has dropped to $1.10. Overbought conditions, profit-taking, and concerns over Ripple's rumored ties to U.S. policy are key factors driving the decline. XRP corrects from a three-year high of $1.26. A breakout could push prices to $1.57 by December. Falling below $0.52 risks invalidating bullish patterns. Concerns over Ripple's influence dampen investor confidence. While short-term turbulence persists, XRP's December prospects hinge on breaking key technical levels amid lingering investor uncertainty. NextBridge, a digital asset issuer, has introduced USTBL, a regulated gateway for investors to tap into U.S. Treasury returns through blockchain technology. Anchored on Blockstream's Liquid network, the offering leverages the firm's asset management platform, aiming to ensure streamlined compliance and bolstering transparency. The issuance kicks off with a soft cap set at $30 million. Dennis Porter, CEO and co-founder of the Satoshi Action Fund, recently announced the open sourcing of a document for enacting strategic Bitcoin reserve laws internationally. He stated that several lawmakers are using the legislative model and that a related executive order to implement it could be on its way. BlackRock Incorporated's head of digital assets, Robert Mitchnick, recently shared his thoughts on Bitcoin during a conversation with Yahoo Finance. Mitchnick stated that he doesn't consider Bitcoin to be a risk-on asset. His remarks coincided with the debut of BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin exchange-traded fund options on Nasdaq, signaling a significant development in the company's digital asset strategy. Brian Armstrong, CEO of the US-based crypto behemoth Coinbase, has favored the future efforts of the Department of Government Efficiency, using Musk's and Ramaswamy's ideas to trim the fat in state bureaucracy and cut state spending. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.